All right, let's get into the Necromancer. The Necromancer has base HP of 80, has base damage 7 to 11. Necromancers gain control over dead bodies. Their minions are automatically activated, but at the start of each turn, their minions get weaker and deal damage to the Necromancer relative to their level. Ooh. Enemies are transformed into ghouls after being killed. Necromancer's minions are transformed into ethereal form after being sacrificed. Interesting. Necromancers charge their ultimate ability whenever something dies on the battlefield. Something, not necessarily an enemy. They can sacrifice all living minions to absorb their power and transform themselves into a powerful lich. And then there is the passive skill down below it, which we can get a summon golem that protects allies by redirecting enemy hits towards itself, the abomination, or the worm. Maybe we just go for the worm. We haven't really, like, we summoned a worm 2 times when playing the summoner. We used the A-bomb very, very constantly in the summoner that we did previously. Like, it was very much an A-bomb run that had other stuff in too. Necromancer is very different from summoner. Is there any of these that is like very clearly a awful choice for the Necromancer? Because these seem available, the Golem, Abomination, Worm, on all 3 of the different summoner classes. I can see Golem being particularly good just because of the whole allies on the field will deal damage to us, so having prevented damage from enemies makes it a little easier to take that. But I think we will go with the worm. So the worm will attack random enemies and reduce their armor. I believe it also has the ability to apply mark, so we can get enemies to be vulnerable too. It may not necessarily be the case that we can do that here in the Necromancer. However, we're also playing in difficulty 5. We get 140% currency gain, hard fights, painful enemies, and deadly bosses. No, you can't apply mark with this? Okay. That's okay. Let's do it this way anyway. Vulnerable is only available for the Summoner and Weird Hunter as far as I know, says Sal. Appreciate your knowledge. Okay, so we're going to have some way to keep ourselves alive while that happens. Also, Sal, you did become the villain of the YouTube series for a short period of time because I cut immediately after the 60 cards got added to the deck. So there were just a few comments in there that are like, no, Sal, what did you do? It's the first time I've been here for the start of the run. Does money gain go up or down with difficulty? Goes up. That is one of the things I like. I like when games have, you know, sliding scale difficulty settings, but there are benefits that you can eke out, or, you know, just linearly increasing benefits over the course of it. So you can, it gives you more resources to use with which to demonstrate the expertise that you've learned. I think I'm being clear. Dragon Soul 14, thank you very much for the Prime subscription. Joe Motes in chat, and welcome back. Sorry, welcome to the Republic. Alrighty then. Let's go and do the obvious thing. The extremely obvious first thing that we have to do. Thank you. Alright, and there we go. Yeah, pat, 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 pat. Oh, it's adorable. Okay. I'm sure there's other things that you do in this game, but that's pretty much the only thing I'm going to be doing. Let's do 6 hours of Woolsey padding stream, I think. I think that's the right time for it. Pat, 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 pat. Okay. Oh, pat, 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 pat about it, though. Yes. All right, have we got any currencies that we have the ability to spend? 10 of those will not be enough to get us an upgrade at all. I will also just have a quick conversation with anyone. Ah, yes, just in case I happen to have any quest lines, and I do, about Master Eron.
Yes? Did you find him?
Tell her the truth. 100% tell her the truth. You can't heal from a lie.
She listens to your story of the burned-down house and the corpse you found inside. It must have been Aaron. There's no other explanation, especially considering the letter you found on his body. She snatches the letter from your hands. As she reads it, her eyes widen with shock.
I killed him. My experiments killed him. But I have a family. I had one, at least. I need to think about this. Please, give me some time.
Objective updated? What difficulty are you playing on? We're playing on number 5. Okay, so here's all our meta currencies up here. Journal pages, TBD. They don't actually have something to be spent for at the moment. Card shreds, 81. That's not going to be enough for anything. Runestone dust 24 probably is. Tallow's not enough. Blood's probably not enough for anything at the moment. We could get a Weirdstone upgrade for like another rest, but it's probably just upgrade our healing flask. We're also starting with 100 gold, which you know what we got to do with 100 gold, right? 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 Are we going to gamble? Let's upgrade that to heal for more. Are we going to gamble? Buy a passive is really good. Buy a quest is also really good. Buying runestones. Honestly, we can buy runestones later. We don't need to buy runestones right now.
You're back.
You have nothing for us there. We could remove a card. Start out with removal. I'd wait to see if you get the money buff for gambling. That is true, because we can only gamble a certain amount of times in a single run. Oh, you did it. You spoke my language, Jan. Because the only thing that's going to stop me from gambling right now is greed. The knowledge that I can get more from the gambling in the future.
She looks.
You got me.
You did a good job gathering all those.
Oh, we've already seen that one before. This is a pretty Necromancer outfit. Yeah, this is probably the outfit I would give you, so I'm not even going to do anything on the other side of that. Change it at all. You know what? Let's do it. Let's start out with a passive. Upgrade your abilities. No. There we go. Every minion starts with 10 barrier. Okay. That could be incredible. Or it could be complete garbage. I do not know yet. Oof, poor roll. Well, I feel like I know now. We're turning lights on, aren't we? I'm probably turning lights on. Candlemaker's back up there. I mean, I guess I head towards the Candlemaker. Maybe I don't turn any lights on until I interact with Candlemaker, just in case I get the increase of duration. Hello, worm. Oh, another thing I haven't actually done is look at the base deck for this character. I'll look at that as soon as I get out of this combat. Activate a minion sacrifice. Oof. 10 barrier. Promote a minion, summon abomination, promote a minion, activate a minion, summon the dog. So this is just gonna be promote, activate then, right? I've been around. Tainted Force would lose 25% of our HP. Oof. Last activation ritual. Activate. Fine. I'll get rid of that one. I also gave the enemy barrier. That enemy may end up splitting out. In fact, I'm almost certain it will, because it's doing it right now. Oops. That's okay. We'll be fine. Resurrect an abomination. Get an AoE minion out on the field. Resurrect ghoul. Summon ghoul. Oh yeah, because an enemy died. Let's summon a ghoul about it. There we go. It's doing some AoE damage. To a resurrected minion as well. Activate a minion, sacrifice it. I don't really know how I'm going to be defending myself too effectively in this deck. Probably resurrected golem, right? Sure, I'm just gonna murder you. Just to start seeing what that's really gonna be doing for us. I'll actually look at the passives in the deck in between this and the next one. Whoops. Activation. That's not really dealing much damage at all. Resurrect 1, minion, barrier. I mean, look, I want to put the barrier on myself, if nothing else. Oof. Even more barrier, I think, even on this instance. Gosh, the promotions really aren't increasing their damage as much as I would like. Activate the AoE. Last activation to get one set of minions down, give us the ability to resurrect a ghoul. That also summoned back the Ethereal Abomination. All enemies on the battlefield. Oh, so sacrificing our own minions makes them stronger rather than dead. That makes sense. Tainted Force, lose 2 energy, doesn't matter. Just activate dog, kill enemy. Level up. I'll understand more when I actually read the base deck. I should have done that before I went into the battle. That's my bad. Human liver and the weirdness mushroom. Ooh, animated Fae. Summon a Fae at level 5. Okay, let's have a look at the base deck first and we'll jump back across. Okay? So, base deck. Last activation, activate an ability. Sorry, activate a minion. Sacrifice. When you activate a minion, it performs an action. Sacrifice is loss of a summoned minion, and the ability means it returns to your hand every single turn. Ritual. Activate a minion. 3 copies of that in the deck. Barrier. Create 10 barrier. 3 copies of that in the deck, and then 2 copies of promotion to promote a minion. Promoting a minion raises a minion by 1 level. Sigil. Protection. Increase a minion's armor by 25. This will apply to a minion until it's dead. So put it on a minion. I mean, I guess if you kill it, you might get it back. I don't know. Is it like equipment like that? I don't think so. I thought it was just used, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. There's also Resurrected Fae, Resurrected Worm, Resurrected Golem, Resurrected Abomination, and they do all of that stuff. They resurrect the thing they say they do on the card. We also now have the ability to pick a new card, Druid's Bane. Reduce enemy armor by 5 for 2 turns. Animated Fae, summon a Fae at level 5, so it's already promoted all the way up to level 5. And Sacrifice. Sacrifice a minion, deal 1 hit for 250% to all enemies. Now, I don't really know a huge amount about this class yet. But I know that the Fae promotes random minions, heals the Necromancer. Wait, actually, the Fae might not give ult charges to this character. They did to the Summoner. They may not otherwise. If you sack the minion, you get glyph back. Cool. Good to know. Good to know. But Sacrifice, I only have, at the moment, the ability to sacrifice 1 each turn. Ghost Fae gives maximum energy. I like sacrificing 250% damage to all enemies. That's also AoE. Very cheap AoE. Like, its downside is that you have to sacrifice something, but for us, that's an upside. A lot of the time, at the absolute least. But there is also the Fae. If I sacrifice a minion, an animated or resurrected one, if I sacrifice a minion, does it come back at the level that it was sacrificed as? Or does it come back, like, lower, reset? Comes back as the level it was sacrificed as. We'll take Animated Fae and start exploring that line. I didn't get to use the Fae much at all when I was playing Summoner. So I'm happy to use some now. Deadly Mark. Add a new card to the Lich's deck. Death Mark. Now, I still haven't become the Lich yet at all. But Death Mark would be a card added to that deck. Mark an enemy for 3 turns. Every hit it receives, when marked, will reduce its armor by 20 until the end of combat. Soul Restoration. If your minion was killed, draw 1 additional card next turn. So that's got to work if you sacrifice them as well. We can also actually, let's focus on this part first. Let's look at our passives. Ethereal Master. At the start of each turn, all living minions deal 1 hit for 2 damage, multiplied by their level to their master. Sacrificing them turns them ethereal. We also raise the undead. After your minions or enemy's death, receive a card allowing you to summon a ghoul. When activated, ghouls hit all enemies and themselves. Dead Serpent, we start with a summoned worm. Your faithful companion is a little special. And Soul Division. Ethereal says they can only be activated and sacrificed. That is important. They cannot be promoted. So you want to promote them before you sack them. Interesting. I don't know how often I'm going to be sacrificing 3 or more minions in the same turn, unless there's like a mass sacrifice card, which there easily could be. But while I'm exploring at the moment, the way I'm leaning is Soul Restoration. Just having a little bit more card draw to kind of like pull things together makes a lot of sense for me. And Cracked Gar. At the end of each turn, deal 1 hit for 5 damage to all enemies. I like just having that for AoE. Okay. Let's bring back up the map. Yeah, we were cutting around this side to get to the Candlemaker. That's a weird stone over there. I mean, look, I could do the weird stone. After the Candlemaker, probably. There are cards that sack more minions, and the Lich does it too. Cool. I think I'm still probably happy with my decision. Oh no. Uh-oh. Does that become Ghost Dog? And if I pet the Ghost Dog, does the Ghost Dog get more powerful? Because it doesn't get promoted anymore. But I don't think Ghost Dog patting is promotion. Incoming damage 9 to 11. I mean, I'm mostly feeling something along the lines of like maybe get a golem out there, sack the golem. No, let's just get an Abomination out. Let's just get some AoE on the board. And then I don't think... I don't think I'm going to use... the Necro Abomination here. Let's just sack you. Interesting. So the ethereal enemies don't damage me. So I want all of my enemies to be ethereal as quickly as possible. It seems to me, at least. Oh, minions armor. At least that's how it appears to me. Okay, animated Fae. We'll get you out on the board so I can see what's up. Lose 75% damage. I'm okay with that. So, Fae. Fae promotes random minions. It won't be able to promote ethereal minions. And heals the Necromancer. When you activate it, it promotes a random minion and heals the Necromancer. In its ethereal form, it has the passive, increase your energy by 1. And in ethereal form, if you activate it, you gain an ultimate charge. Okay, good. That's what I wanted to see. Let's start playing around with that. There you go. Why don't you die? And then get activated a bunch. Give us some ult charge. I want to see what the whole business of being in the other form is. Although actually the incoming damage this turn is pretty bad. Maybe I want to use a barrier. Yeah, I probably want to use a barrier, right? Do I want to use a second barrier? A little bit, yeah. Don't have a second barrier? Fine, you get activated. There we go. Only reasons to having living minions as this character is because you want to promote them so that they live longer as ethereals, or you want a golem to tank or a Fae to heal. The damage minions are complete trash when alive. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Although the ethereal abomination is complete trash right now, but that is because it's been deactivating over its time, right? It's been getting weaker constantly. No, it doesn't. Yeah, no, because it loses that debuff. It was just not buffed in the first place. I thought it was summoned at level 3 for some reason. Okay, let's resurrect a ghoul. I can sack the ghoul, make it ethereal. Oh, never mind. Ghoul was already dead. It didn't need to be re-deadened, apparently. Loss of a summoned minion. Okay, so the ghoul doesn't count as a living minion for the sake of that, it looks like. Charging every time a enemy or minion dies. Yeah, accepting enemy summons and your own ethereals and ghouls. Yeah, that's my bad. Right, let's activate you. Now we have the ultimate charge. Sacrifice all living minions to turn yourself into a lich. Transformation lasts only 1 turn. I need to see it. We've turned into a lich. We now have a completely different hand of cards. We'll go across here because these might all be very important. Energy Wave, deal 1 hit for 426 to all enemies. Each hit grants you 10 barrier. Shocking Grasp costs 2. Deals 1 hit for 4 to 6. Stun an enemy for 2 turns. Power Steal, reduce an enemy's damage by 50%. Increase your damage by 100% this turn. Hellraise, deals 3 hits for 4 to 6 to random enemies. Eerie Gaze, reduce the enemy's armor by 75 until the end of combat. New Beginning, discard your hand. Next turn, draw as many cards as you discarded. Their cost will be reduced by 1. But I'm not going to be a lich next turn. So if I play 5 mana worth of other cards and then that, I just have a... Okay, interesting. Funeral Fog, this turn, create 50 barrier and gain 2 blocks. Duplication, duplicate the next card blade. And then finally, Tongue of Fire. Deal 6 hits for 8 to 12. Each point of your energy turns into a hit. Okay, the first thing I need to know is if I duplicate Tongue of Fire, will it cast for 5 and then 0 or 5 and then 5? Five and 5. Okay. I mean, no 2 ways around that. Oh, wait, hang on. Actually, we don't want to do that. Oopsie. We don't want to do that just because this is just an individual target. I thought it was random targets. It's not random targets. That makes sense. It's totally fine. Oops. On my part, though. Sure, I'm going to steal all of your damage. Okay, and then I got Hellraise that do hella damage. Also lower your armor. Hit all enemies. Give them the Hellraise. Ooh, ghouls. Maximum of 4. Got it. And then we discard a bunch of cards. Turn back. Right? Okay, we're not even going to see turning back in that fight. It's going to take me a couple fights to really get my head in here on how this character works. So just bear with me. It's going to take a moment, but we'll get there, you know? First turn of combat, increase your damage by 50%. Didn't this used to be 75%? Are they doing balance things? I'm glad they're doing balance things, because like a couple of these things, these runestones were better than the higher rarity runestones, which felt a wee bit weird. Candlemaker.
The choking stench of tallow permeates the air. The Candlemaker's house stands alone within the weirdness. The inquisitive tendrils held at bay by dozens of flickering weird candles. You weren't the only one who came up with the idea to search for weird candles in this old house.
Fight me, I'm the Candlemaker. 2 by 11 to 14, 4 by 6 as well. I should murder my own minion. I can give it armor after that. I can promote it before I murder it, so it has longer to live. But, so, promotions for living minions increase their damage, but decrease over time and damage the Necromancer. The promotions on dead minions is literally just the, that is to say, ethereal minions, is literally just exclusively the timer before that minion disappears. It doesn't impact its damage past that point. Okay. Just making sure that I go all straightened out up there. As straight as it can be. Happy Pride. So, Resurrected Abomination and a Ritual, maybe, and then last activation. Yeah, a little bit more AoE. I don't know. I need to get some more defense on myself. Somewhere. I have no other way to defend myself this. Okay, what it should be then is going to be a barrier, a promote, and then last activation, then Ritual, probably. Promote. Die. It's going to debuff the enemies. And each hit will reduce the enemy armor by 5. Good to see, good to see. I do also kind of just want to get the dog out on the field. I'm taking damage this turn. I actually, we'll probably use the wooden flute, but also, damage. Too much. Too much of that stuff. Fine, summon the dog. So this dog doesn't have a promotion level or anything like that. Probably can't be activated. Can be armored, at least, with sigils. Looks like a valid target right there. Valid target. Easy there. Slow down. Whoa, boy. Hold up. I got Faye to heal me. Okay, I gotta focus on Faye healing me. It can be activated as well. Good to see, good to see. Okay. We do have the animated Faye. Oh my god, the incoming damage! Yikes. Until the end of combat, you've increased your damage by 150%. That's a lot? Has no HP to protect. It doesn't have HP, but it does have this, the shield. Man, that's a lot of damage. Do I resurrect the ghoul and just barrier it after I activate it? A ghoul, sorry, a golem? Golems gain 200% of the Necromancer's armor, 10 armor, and protects its allies by redirecting enemy hits towards itself. I guess. Animated Faye gets us closer to leveling up. Ghosts can't take damage at all. They just have barrier because that's the passive I took. Okay, that really helps. That really helps. I was assuming for some reason they could still be targeted past that point. Well, because the HP bar. Not some reason. It was a reason. I think I just have to get the animated Faye out there, maybe. And the resurrected golem, maybe? Let's get the golem out there. And the Fae. And then I'm going to activate and sacrifice the Fae instantly. Gaining some HP. There goes my golem. Just activating a minion here. There's resurrect worms. I could summon a worm and kill it. I could summon a Fae and kill it instantly as well. Oh, yikes. Yikes. This is a lot worse than I thought it was gonna be. There's no way I can get 2 more minions dead this turn, right? No, there is. There is. The ethereal activates to give an ultimate charge. Does the base activate to give an ultimate charge? No, it doesn't. How do I get there? Because the sacrifice can sacrifice a living minion. Sorry, a dead minion. It just won't resummon it. Okay. So, the Necromancer. Let's talk about the Necromancer here for a second. When they transform into the Lich, is it a different character? That is to say, does the Lich come in with its own energy as well as its own deck? Should I expend as much of my energy as possible before casting the ultimate for Necromancer? You get 3 extra. It's a different character, but they share energy. Okay, good. That makes sense. Then I think I just hit that bad boy of a button right there. Just making absolutely certain that these are all the same cards that we got last time as well. They are indeed. Yeah, Rip Woolsey, unfortunately, though. Did you sacrifice your dog? A little bit, yeah. That is going to happen over the course of this run. However, to be clear, this character is canon and Necromancer. They don't like anything alive. Death to them is not permanent. It's not the end. It is just a transitional state to being more useful. Now, sure, we can't summon a ghost dog here or anything like that. It doesn't appear at the absolute least. But that is the mental construct with which the Necromancer is working, and the one with which I am going to have to work, so I don't feel bad. Duplicate the next card played. I like the idea of Power Steel. I feel like I don't do any damage yet. I mean, to be fair, that would also make sense not to be able to do that much damage just yet. Alright, I'm going to dupe the next card played. Reduce your damage 2 times over. Scaling up my damage is scaling up the damage of the Ethereal Worm as well, although the Ethereal Worm isn't going to activate unless I activate it manually, and I have nothing here that'll activate it manually for us. Reduce enemies armed by 75 until the end of combat. I think I kind of just want to cast that on one of the wisps. Give myself an easier time trying to remove it from this world. 2 energy left. I like the idea of ending on new beginnings if possible. Guess it's just Hellraise and New Beginning then. Okay, so the Ethereal Worm activated at the end of the turn there as well. For some reason, I thought it was only going to activate at the start of the turn. At the start of each turn, all living minions deal 1 hit for 2 damage to their master. The thing that happens at the start of the turn is living minions dealing damage to us. That makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. Ritual 0 cost. Let's resurrect Ghoul. Can also resurrect a Mancer if I want to. How much more damage can I get access to? I couldn't go all the way to a Fae, could I? Also, these enemies look like they really want to bop us to death right now, so we should probably find something to do about that, though. That would make sense. Find the dog. Yeah. Your dog ran away and now it's scared of you. Summon the doggy companion, but lose 50% damage to 3 turns. Yeah. It makes sense, but also, well, you know. The golem will have twice my armor, which is nothing. Approximately twice nothing, which is not good. That doesn't seem like a good to have. Summon the Resurrected Abomination and sack you to get you dead. It's Resurrected Ghoul as well. The ghouls are also doing AoE hits. Yeah, I'm pretty worried. Yeah. Yeah, I would describe myself as terrified. These enemies negate all of my hits. Yeah, that one hurt. That one definitely hurt. Summon you at level 5 and start activating you to heal up a little bit, I think. I'm also going to need to find the ability to kill this turn if I want that to be actually good for us. Promote, activate. There's another promote over that side as well. How much healing can I really get out of this fight before we have to end? Because really, I should take all of the healing that's available. This makes the most sense, I think. Don't have a living Fae. Let's activate you, become Lich. We've enlichified. Tongue of Fire is available as well. 100% until end of combat. Okay, wait. When? Until end of combat. Every time I become a Lich, do I get plus 50% damage until the end of combat? Because that seems to be what was happening. Lich just has plus 100% as passive. Okay. Okay. Chase the Singed. Singed, rather. Thank you very much for the Prime subscription. Enjoy emotes and chat, and welcome back to the Republic for the 7th month. This is Howdy Raps. Howdy Chase. And howdy Jared as well. None of these are heals, right? No, they are not. Bop. I'm going to try and focus on being the Necromancer more. Activate one minion 2 times and then sacrifice. This is a good way to get some healing out of the Fae before it translates across. And then there's Funeral Moon. Reduce enemies' damage by 75% for 2 turns. Yeah, quite nice. And Power Compression. Sacrifice all minions. Increase damage by 10% until the end of combat for every sacrifice minion. Power Compression has to be it, right? 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 Sacrificing all minions on a 0. But it sacrifices ghouls. Doesn't it? It also sacrifices my ethereals? Huh. It's a good increase in damage, but I would need the ability to generate minions. It also sacrifices your ethereal Fae. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Whoa! Accidentally dropped my phone, but that's fine. You sit off to the side under the chair. There we go. We don't need you at the moment. So if the Lich is a different character, would the Lich benefit from power compression that I've done whilst I'm not the Lich? It would still benefit from it. Oh man, it seems good, but you know, I do just want more sacrifice. Maybe I'm fine with just Life Breather. Are summons, just in case I've somehow completely misunderstood, our summons do scale their damage with us, right? Sorry? As in the ones that deal damage, like the Resurrected Worm and the Resurrected Abomination, they scale their damage based off of the damage that we've got, the percentage increase that we've got, right? Because if they do, then I can see power compression. Gives us some damage scaling. That's something I felt that I didn't really have access to there. But it's also then very expensive past that point for me to get more resurrected minions out on the board to then sacrifice again. I did notice these went back into the deck after they died. Summon damage is your base damage times your damage percentage times their damage percentage. Okay. I'm going to take the Life Breather and try and do Lich things, I think. That's just where I'm sitting at the moment. We'll see. We'll see. I'm also going to pop a Gar. Let's go to the character panel up here. I'm going to pop a Gar into our Weapon Runestone as well. Let's get a little bit more damage from that one. With one Resurrected card, you can generate as many Ethereal minions as you want. Well, as long as you can draw that Resurrected card more consistently, right? Or if you're talking about how it mechanically works rather than how you would, utilize it. I think, actually. I've misunderstood there. My bad.